have a wife? Yeah. Her name is Apex Legends.
はい、どうもまとぺです。ということで今日は前回同様、ファルコンズのロスターマニアに関する動画となります。前回の動画でいくと、ゼロがファルコンズのロスターから外れるというところだけでしたが、そこから日にちも経っていろいろなことが分かってきました。ゼロが抜けた後は、ギルドがファルコンズに入ると。ギルドは GG っていうチームにいました。GG っていうチームはもともとザック、ギルド、サイクス、この3名で構成されていました。Day1 のプロリーグで1位取ってかなりいい調子でしたね。彼らは。そこからギルドがまずファルコンズに加入して、で、その GG からもう一人サイクス、そしてファルコンズから抜けたゼロ、そしてファンク、こちら EMEA の元ゲーミンググラディエイターズに、この一つ前は所属してましたね。その前は LG でスイートと組んでました。NA から EMEA に行って、そして EMEA からまた NA に戻ってくるというような状況になったファンクですが、その3人で、公式がこう言ってるんでね、ニュー GG トリオつってるんで、GG の枠で、このゼロサイクスファンクという3名で出るようです。GG、元 NRG の枠になりますが、その枠にはティミーもまだメンバーとしては残ってます。そのティミーとサイクスでおそらく GG の枠を確保できているので、違うロスターのゼロとファンクがここに入ってもプロリーグの枠が維持できるというような仕組みになっていると思います。で、いくと、このギルドがファルコンズに入ってサイクスがゼロ、ファンクと合流するとなった時のこのザック・メザーですね。日本でも人気の高い彼だと思いますが、彼はここに来て LFT となっています。要は GG のロスターから放出されたというところですね。このあたりの経緯なんかを、経緯っていうか、ザックの思っていることとか、経緯の一部を話しているクリップがあったので、本日はそちらの方をご覧ください。ほんじゃまた次の動画で。
Alright, let's see. I'm sure this will get screen recorded or something and end up on Reddit or Doctor on a Phrase channel and stuff like that. And that's completely fine with me. It doesn't bother me at all. For starters, I want you guys to know that this is like a long time coming. This isn't like a surprise. How it went down is basically like Falcons suck dick. They angry at each other, which is just like a normal Tuesday, as we all know. They had an offline meeting that went somewhere along the lines of like, hey, how can we work through this or work over this? That turned into them not wanting to work together. Not them. That turned into Zero continuing to not want to work with them or want to be free in one way or another. Obviously, this is very vague because I won't know as much as they will. So I'm just going to say it vague because I don't want to say something that isn't true. And then when Zero says that he doesn't want to play with them anymore, they say, all right. So then they have to look for one as well. As far as timeline goes, I'm pretty sure this is last Sunday or like this previous Monday. Zero wanted to leave Falcons and play with Sykes and Guild because obviously Sykes and Guild are incredible players and we were like first in Pro League and they are like literally in like relegation basically up until this weekend. So you gotta remember, keep in mind this is last Sunday, not current modern day, which is fine. You know, Zero is 1,000 times fucking like Zero is insane, bro. There's no doubt in the world that Zero isn't as good of a player as he is. Obviously the guy's a mental terrorist, not a great person, but at the end of the day, that guy is the best IGL in the world, and that is just a fact. I don't think there's any disagreeing with that. Like, that guy is Thanos. So that's true. That turns into Falcons then having to look for one as well. Obviously, Falcons looking for one versus Zero looking for one. One carries more weight than the other. Obviously, Falcons haven't announced their third, but I mean, obviously, you can see who's on and not on ZZ, so you can figure out the map for yourself. So this has been a long time coming. This isn't like some surprise or like, oh, I got fucked out of a spot or something. Like, no. I was even willing to work with them. I didn't understand how the Pro League worked. I was under the impression that I was going to have to play another Pro League week with Zero and Sykes so that they could even like take the spot and then pick up another player or pick up whoever they end up picking up, whatever it ends up being. Obviously I was wrong about that, which was a good thing for me to be wrong about. That made my life a lot easier, you know? So that was cool. And obviously it makes their life a lot easier too. So that was a win. And they will, you know, they will be a really, really, really good team, I think. Obviously those VODs will be very entertaining. Everyone would say that, but they will be an extremely good team. When Zero's motivated and Zero's passionate, he's just the GOAT. It'll be really interesting to see the rivalry of Hal versus him. I'm really excited to have that back in Apex. I also think Hal, you know, has a fire underneath him to catch up to Zero after not IGLing for a year and a half. Who knows where his bar, you know, who knows where Hal's floor as an IGL is right now, right? Compared to Zero's. So that'll be really interesting to see. I do think Falcons will be the best team in the world. Feel like, I don't know, I feel that way. Zero's team is going to be fucking mental as well. Again, this is like, all of this has been known since last Monday. So it's not like I'm getting blindsided. I was even willing to like play an extra week and like, you know, make it work. I'm not going to be like a douchebag to my teammates. It is what it is, right? That'd be fucked up. I will say the only thing that has like sucked about this whole process is like everyone but Vouch on Tuesday evening when they pulled me into a call to tell me that like, hey, like we have this offer, I have this offer, I have this offer, and we're exploring these opportunities, and like it is what it is, you know, because we don't even have an org, which is like totally fair. I was like very happy for them. I was a little bit skeptical for Sykes, but that was just because like, you know, Zero can be a little harsh sometimes, right? But I was over the moon for my teammates and they will vouch for that. So everything for like this weekend has just been kind of like whatever. I really hope that like the ZZ team, like at least with me, is like not remembered for this recent weekend. Like obviously our team has been like in the process of blowing up since last Monday. So of course this weekend's Pro League is like gonna be a very different environment, you know what I mean? So hope that. The only thing that like really sucks about this process is kind of how it went down towards the end. Like today sucked. Internally, Sykes was saying that like he was really undecided on whether he wanted to like play with me or play with Zero. And I mean, obviously I thought internally that he'd be leaning towards Zero. I mean, Zero's just the best IGL of all time. But internally, that's what he was saying. He was pretty torn by the decision. So going into Sunday, like yesterday, he was undecided. And so obviously after yesterday, I sent a nice message saying like, whatever, like, hey, like, let me know what your guys' decisions are. Happy for you and excited for you. Congrats, Guild, like all this other bullshit, right? And then like he just never replied, so that sucked. I actually found out I got removed by Tabris. Like they reached out saying that, hey, do you know that you're being removed from your team? And I was, yeah, it's all good, bro. So that was the only part that wasn't cool. It would have been cool to just go with like a, hey bro, it was fun playing with you. Glad we were first and second Pro League. We were a really good team. You know, it would have been cool to get one of those, but that was not cool. But outside of that, everything was fine. Really glad we got the opportunity to play together. Obviously, this is the best team I've ever gotten to play with, Sykes and Guild. And obviously, we were extremely, extremely good. I mean, the only team that was doing better than us was fucking Cersei, and had none of this bullshit happened, you know, this previous week, we'd definitely be first place in Pro League by like a mile. Sykes is a snake? I don't think Sykes is a snake. I don't think of it like that. I just think he just made a mistake and it was fucked up, but it's not the end of the world. Definitely wouldn't say that. Any offers for you? Yeah, as far as me going pro, just some insight into my life. Going into Split 2 Pro League, there was only 2 teams I was willing to play with because IRL, I'm like doing really good in real life right now. So like the only way I'm willing to play Apex right now, like in Pro League or Champs, is if I have a team that can win. Like I will not play with a team that like can't win. It's not worth my time right now, where I'm at in life and what is working with IRL. So there was only 2 teams I was willing to work with in the offseason. One team told me that they're unwilling to make changes. And then the other, well, that was it. There was only one team I was willing to play with, and they told me they were unwilling to make changes. So I was like basically content with like, all right, well, let's see where this goes. Like I got a lot going for my IRL. I just got to focus on this really quick. Can I say that team? Maybe another time. Not right now though. But out of nowhere, I got an offer from GIld and Sykes, and that was fucking mental. And I was so excited to try to win with them. And we did a really good job. So I'm really grateful for that opportunity, and I thank them a lot. Working with Winnie was like a 10 out of 10 experience. She was a great coach. She really does a good job of like keeping on everyone's mentals and, you know, the calmness in the team. She's really great at that. She's extremely smart, so that was really fun to work with her, Winnie, Sykes, and GIld. And obviously, I'm rooting for all of them. But no, I have no opportunities. It wasn't like it was the world's best kept secret, obviously. But no, I don't think majority of Pro League teams knew that all of this was going on behind the scenes. And I do think that majority teams knew that like Falcons were splitting, but I don't think everyone knew how like the split was going to work out and how it's going to work out. So for people saying that like, oh, he's LFTing because he has no opportunities, like, yeah, you're completely right. Just to be clear, I don't have any opportunities, but I don't think anyone really knew, and like only like probably less than like 20 people knew. And the people that did know, like, kind of found out over the past, like, 3 days or so, for the most part. Outside of, like, really close friends in Discord, those guys have known since, like, Tuesday. Are you not upset that this happened, knowing you two live together? There's no nice way of saying this, but we all know Zero. Obviously, I know Zero a little bit better than you guys do, but, like, Zero's moved a certain way for a long time. You know, like, nobody brings up Reese and thinks, like, Reese is this, like, super, you know what I'm saying. When you think of Zero, you're not thinking, like, you know, just different people, right? Just different people. So, like, I'm not surprised at all. I don't blame Reese at all. I mean, GIld and Sykes are definitely just the best players right now. So, if he's leaving his team, you know, he's going to go for the best players. And that's what he went for. I would do the same thing if the roles were reversed, and I don't blame him for going for the best players. He's also just the best IGL. Like, he is the best IGL in the world when he's, like, motivated and not being a fucking dickhead. Because when he brings his teammates too far down, then they play like shit too, and then it makes it harder for him to win. But when he's motivated and not being a dickhead, there is no IGL better than him. I reckon you should play with Nasky. Probably won't be doing that, bro. Unless they, like, sign to G2, and G2 fucking fly me out to the Amalfi Coast to live there for a year. Not happening. When is the roster lock for champs? It is the last day of Pro League, I think. Was ZZ the only option for Zero? Zero wanted to play with a lot of players that weren't just on ZZ, but the only opportunity he had was on ZZ. You still have a spot in champs? No, definitely not. I mean, I don't even have a spot in Pro League right now. Have I talked to any teams or players? I've had a couple players DM me over the past, like, 24 hours. But nothing of, like, substance. Nothing like that, no. I officially 100% have zero opportunities right now. That's okay. Kind of expecting... My expectations are... Absolutely nothing is going to come to me, you know, yesterday or today. Or even probably tomorrow. Just so you guys understand, the roster lock for Pro League is tomorrow. So nobody is going to, like, pick me up for this weekend, right? Because roster lock is tomorrow. That'd be really unfair to their own teammate, right? What I'm kind of expecting is people to have the idea of, like, hey, maybe we can do better with Zach. And then, you know, they shit the bed this weekend. And then they're like, hey, let's consider picking up Zach for the next week, right? Which I think is... not bad for me, because at that point, you know, teams will have like 4 or 5 days played in Pro League, and I'll still have like half the Pro League left, like a little bit over half or half the Pro League left, and like I could definitely save a team in like 5 Pro League days right now. I'm just definitely easily good enough to do that, so that's fine with me. So I'm expecting to have absolutely nothing until like basically Sunday night of this upcoming weekend, because realistically, nobody's going to make a change by tomorrow's roster lock at like 2 o'clock or whenever it is. I think Waltzy's happier with Zero leaving? Oh, yeah, without a doubt. I mean, we'll see what Hal does to him. Let's start there. Do I think Zero's happy, or Waltzy's happy with Zero leaving? Happier? Yeah, he's definitely happier. But let's see what Hal does to him first. You know what I'm saying? Let's be patient. Would you consider joining an EME team if they asked? And do what Funk did? I mean... probably not, because then I'd have to move to EU. and I'd have to like completely upend my life. So like, the answer is not no, but the answer is probably not. Like, yeah, I mean, bro, if someone's getting signed to Vitality or G2 and they offer me $8,000 a month to come IGL their EMEA team and fucking stomp the shit out of that region because everyone sucks except for Alliance, like, sure, bro. It would have to be something that I consider and bring up with the people in my life. But yeah, is that gonna happen? No. If Fnatic want to move me to Japan and IGL their team and we just shit stomp, I'm just the CEO of APAC-North for the next year, yeah, I mean, that'd be something I'd have to consider and I would bring it up, right? But the reality of these things are like 0%. I'm not gonna lie, my movement would look so bad in APAC-North that they would think I'm on a controller. Like, that's not even a troll, bro. They wouldn't even know I'm on M&K. They'd think I'd be playing fucking 2-3 Classic, bro. Don't pull a design. He said he didn't want to play unless it was a team he could win with, and now he's streaming Rust. Like I said, I have a lot going for me IRL right now, and I definitely will not end up streaming Rust. If you do see me start streaming Ranked, you can take that as a hint that I probably have a team. I'll say that much. But I have a lot going for me IRL. I'll probably focus a lot on IRL if I'm not playing Apex professionally. Do I regret anything? Fuck no. What would there be to regret? I got a really awesome opportunity to play with GIld and Sykes and Winnie. I took full advantage of it. We were a fucking incredibly good team. We were definitely like the best team in Pro League. Like everything was fucking godlike. I have literally no regrets about the team at all. The team only fell apart after Falcons got nuked. Like, we were like off and on in scrims, but we were never going to struggle on a game day. That's for fucking sure.